As educators, we all have very busy lives. Some might call it a juggling act, but most of us call it teaching. We have so many different things to keep track of in our professional lives with after-school activities, grading, and other duties. Let's not even mention our personal stuff, and that it can sometimes be overwhelming to get an overall picture of everything. With all these competing priorities in life, it sometimes feels like there isn't enough time to get it all done. How are we to keep track and stay organized? This is where Google Calendar can help us to make sense of chaos. With Google Calendar, users can create a calendar for each facet of their lives and either share it with their colleagues, school, and students, or they can just keep it personal. Regardless of how many calendars you create, everything is organized in an easy-to-use interface. You can also set up custom reminders with each Google Calendar so you never forget an important meeting, school event, or sports activity. Let's investigate how Google Calendar can organize all the areas of your life. So for our first step, I'm in the Google support community. And this is something that I think we covered at the beginning of the level 1 training. And I'm just going to go through these different steps here that we have available for us. So the first step is creating a new calendar. And you can see it says right here under set up a new calendar, we're going to follow these 5 steps. Let's just zoom in a little bit. So on your computer, open Google Calendar. On the left side above My Calendars, click the plus button and then New Calendar. Next, add a name and a description. Click Create. And if you want to share, you can click it on the left. Let's go through those 5 steps all together right now. So let's go to a new tab, and the first step was to go to Google Calendar. So I'll type calendar.google.com. There we go. All right, great. Let's go back over and let's see what the next step was. So on the left side above My Calendars, click Add Other Calendars with that little plus button. So here's My Calendars. And above it, there's this little plus button. Let's click on that. Then it says a few different options here. Let's click on New Calendar, the first one. Let's add a name and a description. So I'm going to call this one Cheerleading. And for my description, I'll say this is for the football team cheerleaders. Okay. And the default time zone is set to the right time zone where I live in Ho Chi Minh City. The owner is me, and the organization is my school. So go ahead and click on Create. It's going to think for just a moment. And while it's thinking, let's go back over to our list of things to do. Let's see, number 3 said add a name and a description. We did that. 4 said click Create. We did that. And then finally, if you want to share your calendar, click on it in the left bar, then select Share with Specific People. Okay, let's try sharing it now with specific people. Okay, so now you can see my different calendars. I've made many of them. Some of them came from Google Classroom, so I'm going to ignore those right now. Let's find the one called Cheerleading I just made. Let's click on it. And now I can go into its settings. Let's scroll down. It says, excuse me, it says share with specific people. So here I am, the owner. Now I can click on Add People. I can choose people that I frequently contact, that's who pops up, or I can just type their name. So let me try Chris. All right. And his permission, just like in a Google Doc, let's see what we want to give him access to be able to do. So, see all event details is the default. He can make changes to events, so he can actually alter whatever I write. Last, make changes and manage sharing. So that's almost like he has the same power that I have as the creator of the calendar. So you can see it goes from just viewing to kind of scaling up to having more capabilities. So you can choose how much you want your audience to be able to do. So for him, I'd like him to just be able to see it. So I'll use the default. Then I will click send. All right, now he's going to get an invitation, and he's also going to see in his Google Calendar next time he logs in this new cheerleading calendar. All right, from here, why don't we go ahead and add a new event? And I'm going to go back to settings. Click that little back arrow to get out of settings, rather. Okay, so now we're in the month view in Google Calendar. So we can choose how we want it to look. We can choose this little drop-down box up at the top by day, week, month, year. Schedule shows us things that we've written in our calendar, or the next 4 days. Do you notice that there are these little quick shortcuts along the side? On day, if I just wanted to see what I'm doing today, I could hit D at any time on my keyboard. Week for W, month, and so on. That's pretty handy. Okay, so in our month view, I'm going to choose a day. Let's say, ooh, coming up, it's Christmas holiday. So I'm going to go down on Wednesday the 19th. I'm just going to click on the day. So you can see that a little box pops up where I can write some more information. I'm just going to move my video to the other side here. There's also this little box, a little circle, not a box. If I click on that, it's going to pop open a more detailed window. Either way is acceptable. Let's try the first way that I mentioned. I'm going to click on the day. So I'm going to say Christmas break begins. Okay, and now I can choose which calendar. Do I want it to be in my default calendar, the one that's just for me, or would I like to choose my cheerleading calendar that I'm sharing with others? I'm going to add it to the cheerleading calendar for now. If I click on save, it will think for a moment and it's saved. Now other people like Chris are going to be able to see it easily. What if I wanted to edit that event or maybe add some additional information? I'm going to go ahead and click on the little event, and I'm going to click on the little pencil. Let me just move my video back over to the other side. Okay. So we can see a few different things. Here's the name up at the top. Here's the day that it starts and the day that it ends. And right now I have all day selected. I'm going to unselect that. Do you notice how when I unselect it, it now shows times that it begins and the time that it ends? That would be useful if you have an appointment. So let's say instead of Christmas break, maybe I want to say something like, meet Mr. Ben for important meeting. Okay, and I'm going to meet Mr. Ben at 11 to 12. Great. So next to all day, there's this other little box that says does not repeat. Let me just zoom in so it's a little bit easier to see. There are a few other options when we click that we can choose. So maybe every single Wednesday from 11 to 12, I always meet Mr. Ben. So I could choose it always repeats weekly on Wednesdays. Next, let's look at the area down below. So here it says add location. We can choose a room by writing perhaps its room number, or we could just write the name of it as well. So did you notice that it was searching in Google Maps? That's helpful if it's a public location, but inside of a building like an office, Google Maps is probably not going to be able to find the different rooms. So I would be careful about clicking something that looks like it might be in Jakarta, yeah, in Indonesia. Okay, we can see there's also a place called Alex's Office Furniture in Texas. So when we don't click on one of those places, it'll just keep the name. But if I did click on this, it's going to say, hey everyone, let's go have that hour-long meeting in another country. So just be mindful of that. We can choose to add conferencing if you want to add teleconferencing using Google Hangouts, but we're going to save that for another time. Here under notifications, we can click to remind ourselves. When I click that, this little box pops up and it says notification or email. So a notification would be a little pop-up window. An email would just be a message to the email account that you're logged into right now. And I could say, email me 20 minutes or hours, days, weeks. We can choose what unit. Maybe I'll choose email me 1 day before. You can actually add multiple notifications, as many as you need, to make sure that you don't forget about very important meetings. And you can also remove notifications by clicking the little X. Just going to scroll down here. Okay. Here we can see the calendar that it appears in. Do you remember at the beginning of this tutorial we made a new calendar? So by default, with your school account, you've got a calendar that's just for you. And I don't recommend that you share this personal one with others. This one should just be reminders and appointments that you have to make. And when you want to make a calendar that's for a shared group, class, maybe a committee, you can create an additional one, just like we did at the beginning of the tutorial. So I'm going to keep it my cheerleading calendar, and I can change the color of this event. I'm going to make it purple so it stands out. This next section is about how do you appear during this section. We're going to be busy, and it's got the default visibility. That means that other people in your organization will probably be able to see that you are busy, but not what exactly you're doing. And finally, down below, we can add a quick description. This is helpful if you invite other people to this particular meeting. So since I'm going to be having an important meeting with Mr. Ben, I'll write him a quick message. Hey, Mr. Ben, are you free to meet at this time? And I can add additional things, just like a little email or attachments, so I can bold, underline, italicize, add lists, links, or I can just remove the formatting and make it look blank like this. All right. And now when I'm trying to meet somebody and make an appointment with them, this is one of the coolest features of Google Calendar. Under Guests, let's add the people that you want to invite. So since I need a meeting with Mr. Ben, I'm going to click on Guests, Add Guests, Mr. Ben. I'm going to write his email address. Great. This particular guest, let's see what permission he has. Can he modify the event? Okay, I'll give him complete power. If you don't want him to have complete power over the appointment, you can allow him to simply invite other guests if he thinks another person might be important in this meeting, and to also see the guest list. You can also add and take away permissions as you see fit. And you can actually feel free to invite multiple guests. So I'm going to invite Elizabeth Tinnen, Allison Tillery, Miss Chow. Maybe I need several people to attend this meeting. There's another section over here called Find a Time. Notice that when I click on that, it shows me the different people who I've invited with different colors, green, blue, yellow, and kind of a espresso color. And then under Find a Time, it shows me when different people are available. Notice it's color-coded and it shows that they're busy. And it doesn't show me exactly what they're doing, it just shows me that they're busy. So there's a little bit of privacy for them. And when I look here, there's an open white spot that shows me that all of us are available. But hang on, there's kind of a glowing gray box down here. That's the current time that I'm proposing. Do you notice how the green and the espresso color people are busy? That means Elizabeth and Allison won't be able to make it. What I can do is on that kind of pulsing gray box, I can actually just drag it up to 9 a.m. And did you notice what happened? It changed up here in the time that I had selected. So it automatically updated it. So if I click back over under Event Details, now I know that all people that I've invited are going to be able to make it. So finally, I'm going to click Save. And the last step is it says, would you like to send invitation emails to Google Calendar guests? If I click send, all of those people are going to get an email from me and ask them if they'd like to attend. They'll also see in their Google Calendars a little box that says, would you like to attend during this time, this very important meeting with Alex? I'm going to click cancel because I don't want them to see this, but that's what would happen in the normal circumstances. All right, so that's the end of today's introduction to Google Calendar. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing all of your calendar invites in the future. Take care.